My name is Mary Truitt, and I'm a past life regressionist. I was trained personally by both Dolores Cannon and Brian Weiss. And I come on here and tell you stories about my sessions or answer questions people have about hypnotherapy for remembering other lifetimes. And one of the questions that I've gotten a lot is, how much will I remember of the session? So when we do hypnosis, we make a recording of it, sometimes just sound, and then other times we do a full video of the regression. We are not allowed to film the induction or to record the induction because that is proprietary material that belongs to Dolores Cannon or to Candace Craw Goldman. And so we do not record the induction, and also you might get hypnotized when you were listening to it. So we begin the recording at the moment when the person enters into their first lifetime. Now, how much will you remember? So this is a great question. So it's very closely related to how deep your hypnosis is. So you can go completely out, which means you're at what's called the somnambulistic level, which means you don't remember a damn thing about it. You remember getting into the bed probably, being tucked in, and then you remember being counted out. And in between, nada, nothing. This is why we have the recording. Then you have the person who believes that they remember everything about the session. Now, these people might say to themselves, I don't even think I was hypnotized during the whole session, because they're very much awake of things going on around them. But one of the great mysteries about hypnosis is that you can be completely hypnotized and still think that you're not. It's a hard thing to deal with as a hypnotherapist because, we try to convince people, oh my God, you are absolutely, hypnotized, and they don't believe it. So Dolores used to have a funny thing, which was she'd say, just say to people, keep making up these stories for me. And I'm going to tell you who the world's worst client is, and that's me, because I do this work, I believe in it. But when someone hypnotizes me and I'm visiting other realms and lifetimes, I spend the whole time saying to myself, oh my God, this is total bullshit. I'm making all of this up. This is so stupid. Why do I do this for my job? Why am I fooling people? Like I am the worst. And then the minute I am counted out, I'm like, Mary, you were absolutely hypnotized and you were not smart enough to think up those lifetimes. You are not creative enough. You are not imaginative enough. So it's so much like when you wake up from a dream in the middle of the night and you're like, that is the best dream I've ever had. I'll never forget that. And then guess what happens when you wake up in the morning? It's all gone. So the people who come out of a regression saying, I remember everything, it's actually kind of amusing because, I don't spend a lot of time talking after the session. I do a follow-up about a week later on Zoom with clients. But right after the session, I just make sure people are grounded and have a little something to eat if they want or drink, or just make sure that they're safe to leave or to go on with their life if it's remote. But one of the things I'll do is say, wasn't that weird when you dived into the freezing cold water? Or wasn't that weird when the cat jumped out from behind the building? Or I'll just say some minor thing from the session or something I thought was memorable. And the person will go, wait, I don't remember that. And then you see this kind of weird look come over their face like, maybe I'm not going to remember everything. And so the experience a lot of people have is, even if they think they're going to remember everything, by the time they begin to walk out the door to leave or get home or whatever, they've forgotten a lot of it. So some people do remember good chunks of it, but I have yet to meet somebody who remembers everything. So I'm going to try to talk quickly. What is the difference between remembering nothing and remembering a lot? So I always give this example because I think it's one of the most beautiful lifetimes that anybody can have. So I had a client who was shown a lifetime as a dolphin. In fact, I've had many clients who were shown lifetimes as dolphins. And when you are a dolphin, the joy, that you feel in swimming, in being in the water, in jumping out of the water, in seeing the rainbows that the water makes when the wave breaks. Just the pure joy of that lifetime is something that, your subconscious mind often wants to give to you. Or if they make you an eagle, they want you to be able to see what it feels like to have that kind of vision and that kind of altitude from your questions in life. Like if they show you an eagle life, for example, they are trying to show you to make a little distance, to see things from a higher level, if at all possible, that you're too close to something. If you're a dolphin, it's because there's not enough joy in your life. So if you have completely gone out, you can listen to the tape, but that feeling does not stay alive in your body. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't have that visceral memory of it. I had a client who once said, the lives were like a taste in my mouth for days afterwards. And so I actually prefer it when people really are kind of out of it, but not completely out, because when they come out, they're like, I will never forget the feeling of love that enveloped me when I died in that lifetime, or I will never forget the feeling of that healing in my body or whatever. So I say better not to go completely out, but better not to tell yourself the whole time like me, oh, you're just making this up. It's ridiculous. Because I always think, like, when you wake up in the morning after you've had a crazy dream, you don't say, why did I make that up? You understand and recognize that it's something from your subconscious to you that, as Jung called it, a gift every night from your subconscious mind. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. If anybody has any questions or wants to argue with me, you can do that. Ciao.